welcome back. This is a pretty good episode. This is a couple. You can run into this, seems often enough, where, you know, one member of the family or wife or spouse is liberal or conservative and the other one isn't. This guy says he leans left, but he certainly is a kind of Democrat or leftist that you would like to see more of. Of course, he does have a lot of right-leaning views too, but for the most part, he's a leftist. But he listens, and this is nice. This is nice. I think I hopefully exposed him to a couple of things that'll expand his ideas of what's going on, because we are under a depopulation program. This is the last push to go ahead and destroy Western civilization and bring in a one world government. This is Agenda 21, Agenda 2030. This is the Bilderberg Group's Grand Master Plan. This is it. We're in it, and we're in the final stages of it. So you know, even in the best case scenario, I don't see too many of us getting out of this. Worst case scenario, we're all going to just perish, because we have the ability to do that now. And there's always the questions whether we've even, you know, damaged the environment to the point with our geoengineering programs and terraforming of the planet, where we might not be able to survive anyway. So, at any rate, this is a pretty good video. Hope you enjoy it. And again, if you like it, you like it. If you care, you share. And if you really want to help me out, please go support me. Go get one of my designs and have a badass Christmas. You know, make it a gift. All right, God bless all of you, and thanks for showing up.
Really? What do you got against the Donald?
I like Donald.
What are you doing with this bum then?
I
know. Where are you guys from?
Thanks a lot. Pennsylvania.
What do you do there?
I work in a steel mill.
And you're not happy with the Donald? I thought steel was coming back.
It's not. They keep saying it is, but they keep making everything out of Chinese steel. He keeps telling us we're getting stuff. We're not. Nothing's any better than it has been.
Right, I talked to another steel guy, and he said there isn't. What they have to do is sell out of the Chinese steel first, kind of the deal.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it'll work.
Because, I mean, now every now and then I hear, you know, that's bullshit story like this, you know, and I take your word for it. You're in the business. That's only knowledge I get. I'm not buying. I'm not buying what these guys are telling me. But probably easily 90+ % of everybody, small business guys I talk to, are really thrilled. I mean, they you know, things are expanding. I mean, you're a young lady. What do you yourself? What do you do?
I work at a college, secretary.
Which one?
IUP, Indiana University of Pennsylvania.
Most colleges are very liberal.
Yeah, so we're kind of like opposites.
Oh yeah, must be true love then.
I'm more liberal, and she's more in the places we work. You'd think we'd be the opposite.
Huh. Interesting. As I say, it must be true love. I'm glad to see this. You know? I mean, we all should be able to get along, but unfortunately,
I like waking up and seeing what Donald has to say.
Yeah,
but what happened all night.
Unfortunately, with what's happening now politically, the divide is getting really horrible. I mean, they're trying to, you know, separate us and get us, because I'm living proof of this. You know, they calling each other names, putting us into boxes, and not having the ability to go ahead and converse like this. But decidedly lately, though, as an objective observer, being Uncle Sam, knowing the social engineers and the platforms, when we talk about the media, 90% of it is owned by 6 corporations. Decidedly left. Probably nearly 100% of the internet, Google, Twitter, Facebook, decidedly radical left. The fact that anybody can get elected Republican these days with that overwhelming majority of the message censoring free speech, which to me is, see, I grew up in Northeastern liberal, so, you know, and it was all about free speech. In Berkeley, I was out there at the free speech movement and all. And now it burns me to see 180 degrees where they're actually stopping people from speaking at Berkeley because they don't like their views.
Yeah, that's not right. I agree, that's not
decidedly left. And now we have, if you can name one single election recount that has flipped since election night from D to R, I'd like to know what it is, because 16 of them have flipped.
Really?
From R to D.
Really?
That is statistically impossible without some shenanigans.
Yeah, that's what I thought when Bush made it. G.W. Bush made it from Florida, where his brother was the governor, and it flipped from Democrat to Republican.
And granted that, because decidedly we haven't really elected our president for 50 years until he got in. Because no matter who would have won that battle, the powers that be, the deep state that still controls us, would have won. They don't give a fat crap who the hell won. You remember when this election started, it was supposed to be Clinton or Bush.
Right.
That was the Clinton and Bush.
The same
Clinton
two
and Bush.
again.
And what happened? We were at a revolutionary state. I mean, we were at a breaking point. People said, no. No. Johnny Popcorn could have run and won against Hillary. Because the people themselves said, we just don't want any of these bastards. The fact that he got in and has got the balls enough to go ahead and say what he says and does what he does and bring up things like the deep state and call out the bias in the media and take those slings and arrows. And now we have not just censorship, we've got corruption in the election. We got open corruption in the deep state where they actually used a phony dossier made up that she paid for, that they used to go to the FISA court, which is supposed to be used for foreign entities, not domestic, but to spy on Donald Trump. So Obama weaponized the Department of Justice and with the complicity of the media have been waging war on this man.
Right.
No one was calling him a racist before he ran.
He's doing it to help his people out, just like the Bushes always
his
did to
people.
help
Who's
their
his people?
The rich people.
What
His
rich people? I'm talking to business,
just like the
everyday
Bushes
people
were
here.
Oil people, and the price of oil.
I'm
went
talking to
through the
teachers
roof while
out
they were
here,
in.
small businessmen, and people that work for a living that are getting an extra
I'm working for a living,
$140.
and I am getting $100, but my also our deficit is going through the roof, and my kids are going to end up paying for that, and I'm not for that. I'd rather pay the goddamn taxes now than have to worry about my kids doing it 20 years from now.
Should have been done in 08. We should
What
have
about
held
when
the
Clinton was
bankings.
in? What about when Clinton was in? We had a balanced budget. Why can't he do that? Clinton did that. Bill Clinton
Well,
did that.
he did it because of the boom of the tech industry at that time.
That's true.
And that bubble burst. That's what caused,
Whenever Bush was in.
What does he did again? Okay, this whole thing started with Jekyll Island, with the Federal Reserve.
Well, Federal Reserve, I'm against that.
Well, thank you. When they took over, read the Devil from Jekyll Island.
I don't know Jekyll Island. When was
Well,
that?
Jekyll Island is where all the bankers got together in secret. They all used alias names, and they met on Jekyll Island at this resort to form the Federal Reserve. And they did it, and you can read the charters of this thing that leaked out, to go ahead and enslave us by keeping us, by taking our money system away from us into their hands.
Is that when Nixon changed it from the gold reserve? Is that when that
All of this had a lot to do with it. This plan
once
has
again,
been
another Republican
this
did that.
has been in works for a long, long time. Actually, without getting too deep into it, but certainly the plan started to take away America's greatness and power from the people by taking our ability to coin our own money and putting it in the hands of foreign entities.
Is that when Andrew Jackson took it back for us?
Yes, indeed. So the fight has been now to go ahead and bring down Western civilization, to bring in a one-world government.
I'm against that.
Well, indeed. If you look up, and I was asked you, I mean, you're good at this. I mean, you'll look this up. Look up Agenda 21.
21.
Have you ever heard of that?
No.
Okay. Are you familiar with the Bilderberg Group?
I have heard of that, and I've heard of the Magnificent Seven.
Yeah.
Magnificent 12.
The Magic 12. Magic 12, yeah. Right. But the Bilderberg Group, look them up. It's the 120 give it to take a few of the most powerful people in the world. Mm-hmm. I mean, the real people of the world. The ones that own the conglomerates and the media. And they meet in secret once a year.
Bohemian
Grove is another one.
Oh, that's a different one.
Yeah, this is the Bilderberg Group.
Okay.
If I was saying Bohemian Grove is another place.
That's where they elect the president every year.
Well, that's where they primarily go ahead and indoctrinate people into the system, and because it's a big gay orgy. And so when you get there, it's sort of like, well, if you want to play with us, you got to play with us. Well, of course, everything's filmed, and then they got you for life. They can blackmail you, which is how a lot of the power structure works. So, but the Bilderberg Group basically is a group of the 120, 140 of the top people in the world who for 4 days get together and say, okay, that person will be president over there, we'll start a famine over here, a war will start there, and we'll collapse that economy here. Well, they've known for a long time that eventually the resources of this world, which they have controlled, and the population of the world would clash.
Okay.
So what they want to do is form the New World Order, or that Bush originally said, the New World Order, part of Agenda 21, to go ahead and gain control of all the world's resources, everything, water, land, food, travel, every aspect of our lives, under the umbrella of sustainability, using the false global warming or Edith to go ahead and gain control of the world's economy under the name of saving it.
Right.
Controlling the world's resources, put it in a Skynet control where everything is controlled. Well, we know what happens anytime somebody gets centralized control. Henry Kissinger called this the future useless food eaters. As robotics, AI technology continues to put us out of work. So that's what a lot of this caravan that's coming up here do is. There's another one if you haven't heard of it. Cloward and Piven.
I never heard of that. Cloward and Piven.
Cloward and Piven, two political scientists. They asked in the 60s, if you were going to bring down Western civilizations, how would you do it? He says, well, you can't bring it down militarily, so this is what you do. You corrupt the politicians or the military to start brush fire wars everywhere.
Okay.
You create a lot of refugees. These wars are not to be won, but just to be continued. So you create a lot of refugees. You then play on the guilt of the host country who started the wars to allow these refugees who you've been bombing and killing their relatives for a couple of generations into the country. You overwhelm the welfare system, collapse the country inside economically. The chaos ensues. These sleeper cell terrorist groups that you've let in willingly create chaos, and then we come in with the solution, which is a police state. We have control of everything.
Right.
So it's Cloward and Piven, Agenda 21. This is all coupled in with the New World Order. This is what they plan to do. It's the plan for global enslavement. The upgrade to Agenda 21 is Agenda 2030.
2030.
2030 is the target date they have to have everything in place. Their goal is to eliminate everybody but 500 million people.
That's those Georgia Guidestones.
Thank you. Thank you. You're halfway there.
Huh?
Check some of this stuff out, and you're going to see that both parties are being played.
I agree.
We're being played. I'm not so sure he's not playing us, even though I support a lot of what he's doing. Because, I mean, there is this one thing that's still hanging in there I haven't gotten an answer to. George Soros is arguably one of the worst people that ever walked the face of the earth. Loaned him $320 million. He forgave that debt in 2012. George Soros doesn't forgive anything without expecting something back. So I haven't had a good explanation of why that debt was forgiven. So again, I'm not so sure we're not still being played.
But you think he's better than our alternative, so that's all you can ever do is vote for who you think is the best.
Well, right now, yes, because he's done a couple. One of the really good things he's done. Immediately he started the pedophile task force ring, and they've busted over 20,000 pedophiles. That can't be a bad thing.
Hello. All right. Hey, I gotta go.
Hey,
thank you.
Did I give you a get out of jail free card from Hillary Clinton?
Hey, thanks.
All right. It's a pleasure, man.